Hello, everyone. Welcome to another late night show of Star Wars Episode 1 Racer today, this time featuring Lightning Pirate and Dry Guy. My name's Game Draco. I'm joined here by Nock, and we are starting on Melistar 100 with fully upgraded Deadbolt at 60 frames per second, which makes him super stiff turning.
Yeah, they're going with the maximum traction upgrade as well. Both that and the high FPS are going to make this pod. Can he even turn? I don't even know. I'll be excited to see.
And this is also the first time Deadbolt has been used in tournament to begin with, I think.
And on a track with an extremely sharp hairpin, no less.
And his favorite track, which is
I think Draco may be having an internet pickup here, but I think he was saying that this is the track where Deadbolt is the listed track favorite by the game.
Yeah, he's the track favorite on this track, yet he's practically the worst pod for this because he's so stiff turning. And here we go. This is going to be ridiculous to watch.
For a second there, I was worried we were going to see a backwards run from Dwight.
I actually had that happen when starting with Deadbolt with the far view.
Yeah, old game sometimes likes to get stuck in that backwards leaning view. Both of them are handling this pretty well.
Yeah. Oh, the hairpin is where it's going to really do it, because if they want to make it through in one piece, they're probably going to slam to near zero on the brakes.
True, true. Now we should say the, oh.
Whoa!
Wow. Fly Guy taking that very well, actually. I'm impressed. That was... that almost looked reasonable.
600ths of a second.
Now, Dwy Guy known for last year not using the slide function at all, so possibly the high traction will be more of a boon for him here.
Oh! Crashes with Dud.
Yeah, that'll set him pretty far behind. But, of course, if Lightning Pirate messes this up, it takes it very slow, but doesn't crash.
Yeah. I like to say Deadbolt lives up to his name and that he's a real dud of a pod.
Certainly not one you would see picked very often, but I'm glad the whole gentleman's agreement thing has gotten some traction. You can see some of these wacky pod picks. Both of them actually racing a fairly clean race for being in such a poorly handling pod that I'm sure neither of them are familiar with.
No, this track you run at the bare minimum, 24 frames per second at the minimum R20. And a crashless run with Dud by Lightning.
That takes the hairpins very slow, but that cautiousness paid off.
Okay, Lightning said he'll be starting the permabans.
Lightning taking that track in a reasonably convincing fashion. It's too bad. Dry Guy had the hairpin strategy on the first lap. He actually was behind in the first lap and then swung ahead by taking the hairpin much faster. That one crash really did him in.
Okay. And W Mountain Run banned from Lightning. Abyss banned from Dry Guy.
Both fairly nasty tracks there. Not have game audio. Let me see if we can do something about that.
Bumpy's Breakers from Lightning for his second permaban. And Gravine Gateway from Droigai. Droigai knocking out pretty much the two hardest tracks in the game for most players.
Yeah, Abyss. Abyss is hard in a weird way. Abyss is a very unfair track. You make one mistake and it's game over. Whereas Grabvine is hard in a more fair way in that it's just really difficult turns.
Mars Grow Band from Droigai.
Suggest that he wants to go to a skip.
Banning Inferno.
The other reason you might ban Mars is if you're planning to go like no upgrades, perhaps on one of the harder tracks, or ban Bullseye and then
Executioner. Executioner.
okay, Executioner no force. So maybe just a throwaway ban to try and bait Lightning Pirate into banning a skip that he didn't actually want to go to.
Lightning Pirate said, "I hate that track."
This is one of those tracks that certainly lives up to its name. All of the Ubu tracks are named something.
Droigai's doing like trolling him like Emperor Palpatine good. That's great.
Be excited to see how they get on here. Guy has consistently surprised me throughout this tournament. He's put up very good times for the position that he ended up qualifying in. Guy is really characterized as a very consistent racer. That crash from him was actually kind of a fluke. I believe his average crashes per track in tournament is less than one. Unless I'm completely misremembering my stats here.
Just telling Lightning to drop the spectator sheets. Hey! Lightning almost forgot about it, or else he would have been an automatic loss for him. So
well, he is being smart and does actually have it semi-transparent. So I don't know that it would have been an immediate DNF, but definitely a better watching experience.
Yeah. I'm waiting.
If you see there, you can just about make out then.
Yeah. I'm waiting. Okay. Waiting on Lightning to drop the screen before giving the countdown. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, I think the confirmation you're right.
Yeah, we got confirmation.
Yeah, Dwight 0.6 crashes per track. Definitely a runner who could go far here in bracket.
He was a veteran of the 2019 tourney and placed very solidly despite not using slide at all during that year.
And I understand he's been mixing it in and has made a lot of improvements, so definitely not a competitor to count out, even if he did, qualify in the middle of the pack with his qualifier times. This is someone who
we're starting. Yeah.
This is a racer where if you make a mistake, he's probably not going to. That could mean the trap. think Dwight takes a little bit of underheat there, not able to hold the difficult boost through the first archway section.
No, he's taking it rather safe. And
That'll put him, looks like, a few tenths behind LightningPirate right now.
yeah. And this is where
Neither
the track
going for the
hurts.
jump?
Whoa, lightning crashes. That's this tube is where Executioner... Oh, they both crash in the tube!
Yeah, that looked so good for Dwight, but then he just clipped the edge of that asteroid there near the end of the tube.
That tube is where this track earned its name of Executioner.
For sure. It's very difficult to fly around those rocks, even if you have the patterns down. Sometimes, if your traction or frame rate is off, it can really throw you off.
And the safest way to enter that tube is to slam hard on the brakes, which can not be so good if you know you're up against a player of such high caliber as these two. 121, 124.
I was very surprised to see neither runner riding up the right wall and jumping into the tube. That's usually what you would see from a PC runner at the very least. There's some risk of flinging and concealing and crashing, but it's usually pretty safe. Lightning really going aggressive, hugging the walls here, just taking every last bit of time he can out of this track. There's the little jump from Lightning, okay. Crashes the same way as the first lap. And Dwight will be clean through the tube.
Now it's about even again.
Yeah, Dwight just a slight lead now. Crashes in the...
Crashes
that's...
the rotating gate, I think he did.
Yeah, that's a big, unfortunate crash for Lightning. I was just about to get done saying crashes in the tube don't hurt quite as much due to the fast terrain, but that will put him very far behind.
He's now the whole tube length away, further away.
It's a new lap record.
117, that's really solid for Executioner full.
Yeah, he was able to avoid underheating at all on that second lap and burned up basically all of his heat. Really, really solid racing from Dwight right now. You can see he's taking a little bit more of a conservative line, not trying to hug the walls or anything, but I mean, that's why he's known as such a consistent runner. He'll put up a decent time every time, even if it's not the fastest in the world.
Oh! Lightning crashes on the tube entry, which is very hard to do. Which is very easy to do, I meant to say. Dwight Guy has this now, pretty much.
Yeah, this would take several errors from Dwight at this point. Unfortunate for Lightning that he crashed on that first tube every lap. But he did say he doesn't like this track, so probably not practiced here.
Four minutes flat with a death. Wow.
Yeah, extremely good time from Dwight there. Very, very solid pod racing. Nothing too fancy, nothing too flashy or anything, but got the job done.
LightningPirate just said in track, that track is garbage.
Alright, we are off to a good start here. Lightning came into this as the definite favorite, but it looks like Dwight Guy is going to take him to town here.
Okay, Lightning's banning Bullseye. Dwight Guy banning Boonta Classic. Vito's Wild Ride.
It's funny, I think we may have just picked two of the most hated tracks in the entire community. Executioner, definitely a bane of a lot of people's existences, and Vito's Wild Ride has been permabanned quite often.
Forces, we're just going to Vito's Wild Ride.
Vito's Wild Ride is a track in the amateur circuit here. It shouldn't be difficult, but it is. And that's, I think, why so many people dislike it. Just every part of this track is surprisingly easy to crash on. And it features a long section full of ice, which, despite the pods floating and, logically not needing to have any interaction with the ground, the ice murders your traction. So it's just a real pain to go over that middle section. This is certainly a track where even the very highest caliber runners can crash 2 or 3 times.
Just told Lightning to drop the spectator sheet again. I don't want to make the mistake that Ace did, and I don't want him to get disqualified over it.
Yeah, thankfully for, well, sort of thankfully for Ace, when that happened to him, he had to take that DNF. It was in a match that he was very favored to win. But in this match, taking a DNF because he forgot to drop the spectator sheet, that could mean the difference between getting a match win here over Dwy Guy and not. Was that also against Dwy Guy? Thank you for the reminder there, King Bean Dip. And that looks like the real
Here we
start.
go.
Now, Vito's Wild Ride is one of the 3 maps in the game. Oh!
Oh! Railway crashes right away. That's really hard, easy to do.
Yep, every part of that, the wall on the left, the pillar on the right, the entry into that tunnel, every bit of it is just full of polygons at the right angle to cause a crash.
And now we're pausing, and
that puts Lightning probably 5 seconds ahead, it looks like.
a little bit more now since Dwy Guy wasn't able to boost during that ice descent.
Yeah, and takes a wide line there through the turn. Let's see how he gets on with the shortcut. Oh, he takes the safe version of the shortcut. Interesting.
Yeah. And LightningPirate not opting for the tent.
Yeah, unsurprising to see that that tent opens up on lap 2, but it's very difficult to enter, and also on this track, very difficult to exit, and it doesn't save very much time at all.
Crashes again.
Another one. This is LightningPirate's track to lose at this point. Probably afford... He can certainly afford at least 1 crash, but probably 2 at this point. You can see him taking really sharp lines around the sort of chicane there, taking the fast version of the shortcut, getting the boost. Really clean from LightningPirate on a track that's very easy to make mistakes on. drops the boost through the tunnel, but that's fine on the second and third lap here. He'll be able to avoid underheating most likely. And Dwy starting lap 3. Gets through the tunnel safely this time, but Lightning Pirate is running out of places where he could potentially crash.
And looking like a rare deathless Beatos, too.
Yeah, he's certainly got this track down. He's been doing everything about as properly as he possibly could. Avoiding the tent, but that's
242!
Wow, 52.94 final lap there. Blazing fast and Lightning.
Dry guy coming in with a 303.
Yeah, even with those 3 crashes, you could tell Dwy was... even without those 3 crashes, you could tell that Dwy was a little uncomfortable there. Taking the safe version of the shortcut, where it's easier to hold the boost, but is much slower. He was bleeding out time quite a bit compared to Lightning Pirate.
Okay, Dry Guy banning Bull's Roar. Lightning Pirate banning Spice Mine Run. Ando Prime Centrum.
Prime Centrum is another track on the same planet, but this is a very, very unique track. You will see no repeated pieces on this track. It's got this iconic city section and a number of branching paths, which hopefully both runners will know the way they want to go. There are 2 sort of viable paths that are fairly similar to each other, but anything else can lose quite a lot of time. And we're jumping from the amateur circuit, the first tournament circuit of the game, all the way into the invitational circuit, which is the very last.
And Ando Prime Centrum you won't unlock unless you beat the amateur circuit in full.
This has been a sort of a favorite track of the tournament. We've seen this in quite a few matches at this point.
Yeah. Also, I would say one of the more deceptively tricky tracks in the game, because if you take the wrong route, you just lose.
And the correct route involves this incredibly difficult double hairpin, which is one of the few places in the game where you actually have to hit the brakes in order to take it without crashing.
Countdown has been given.
We're all in for a treat on this track, as it's one of the most visually interesting tracks, in my opinion. Totally unique city section.
Fly guys off, so is Lightning. Both taking older and safer route.
Yeah, the new IL strat for this track actually has you go off to the left path on the very first lap, so you can avoid underheating. My guy wide saves it.
Really wide from both of them.
Very.
Lightning catches up with a much cleaner line through there.
Okay, Dwy take.
Whoa!
Oh, Lightning crashes. That offered Dwy at a significant lead. He took the slightly safer route there, going left or right at that fork, with the large building in the center. Doesn't actually make up a huge amount of time difference. It is slightly faster to go the way Lightning did, but of course not if you crash. Another nail biter there for Dwight going through that tunnel. Lightning makes it cleaner. Ah, bad scrape for Dwight. Loses a lot of speed. Very clean hairpins for LightningPirate there.
Very clean line by Lightning.
Oh,
Whoa!
careens off the wall into the bump. At this point, it's going to take a true crash mistake from Guy. Lightning could have maybe made up the time with his better lines, but at this point, it's Guy's track unless he makes a mistake. And yes, that is...
Might... He's in heavy damage, and he's went wide the first 2 times. Is he gonna... Whoa! Into the red.
Oh, both engines are
red.
red. His turning is back.
Okay. Lightning made up a good chunk of time with that, but still not enough.
I think it's still gotta be a death from Dwight for Lightning to catch up.
And he's got through all the hard parts of the track.
Yeah, this should be Dwight's track. There's basically no way he crashes him. Solid stuff from Dwight. A bit of trouble through the hairpins, but kept it together. And a 244 with such bad bonks and scrapes and hairpins is quite fast on this track.
Yeah, I'm amazed he survived. He barely survived. Okay, it looks like Lightning's doing a throwaway ban and banning Deadbolt. It looks like that's it for Deadbolt. Okay, Dry Guy banning Boot to Classic.
It's too bad. Bunta Classic is a fun track, but can hardly blame him.
Death Row's
It's very
Revenge.
Ooh, Death Rose, okay. This is one of the more chill tracks in the game, actually. So that's actually probably to Lightning's advantage to pick sort of, I don't want to say easier because any amount of optimization in this game is very difficult. But to pick tracks where it's harder to make mistakes takes away a lot of Guy's advantage in being a slow and steady runner.
I wouldn't call Death Row's that easy. There's a bunch of texture kill spots that can really kill you really good.
It's true, and especially holding the first boost while dropping off to the lower level to take advantage of the fast terrain through the tube section at the very start, as we'll see here. That is a very easy way to crash. But it's not something like an Executioner or an Andobi Mountain Run, where it's very easy to make mistakes and where Guy can really capitalize on stuff like that. Lightning should be able to take more aggressive lines here.
I'm just waiting for LightningPirate to drop the spectator sheet before giving the countdown. Ace could afford it, but practically every other player cannot really afford it.
Right, there goes. The trackman was Bunta Classic.
And here we go.
That guy dropping down early rather than taking the more risky strat.
I went for the riskier strat, but didn't hold the boost. Like roughly about 8. Now Lightning's slightly ahead.
Yeah, Dwy got... Looked like Dwy lost some time. Oh, sorry, guy.
Yeah, it looks like Lightning's faster due to slightly better lines.
Yeah, you can see he's really using the slide function well, hitting on and off of it to adjust his position in these turns and take them as close as he can. Why underheating pretty badly now? That's going to cost him a lot of time.
Yeah,
Pinballing off the walls there.
He didn't boost down the jump at all, which put him massively behind. Wag! Why guy crashes?
To explain underheating, to answer a question in chat, as you see, Lightning Pirate's speed right there is filling up. There's a gauge that's filling up. That's his heat. That's the resource that you expend in order to use your boost and go faster. And yeah, so when it reaches 0, while you're not boosting, it's cooling down, and when it hits 0, we call that underheating, because you are essentially wasting cooling time. Where you could have been regenerating your boost had you just used more of it earlier. It's an not unavoidable, but it's a time loss you can't make back up because you are essentially giving up time that you could be going much faster. Oh, Lightning just about.
Out of bounds jump. 210. Oof. Okay, we're going into the next track.
Yeah, we definitely saw there, you know, even without that crash, my guy probably wouldn't have taken that track.
Okay, picking Spice Mine Run.
Another sort of semi-chill track. There are some sections where you can get hung up here. I'm actually a little worried for Dwiguy with this pick. He's shown some difficulty with the boost strategies and has underheated on several tracks now. Spice Mine Run is another one where it's very easy for that to happen to you.
Uh-oh.
The bands Dom were Mars Guo, the Pod Boy, or the Pod Band, and then
I just
Inferno.
used 2 of his forces. He's banning and Bulls. No upgrades. He's using all his forces here.
Okay. I retract my statements about being worried for Dwiguy. No upgrades, ironically, makes it much easier to not underheat because your cooling is so bad.
The only odds are both of them will probably go with Saboba.
Yep, that should be the next fastest pod after Ben and Bulls. Bulls and Ben. Sort of wonder if this is something Dwiguy planned, or if he just pulled this out right now. Because you said, you know, hey, do you want to use any forces? And you just said, good idea. So it almost seemed spontaneous. Yeah, apologies if I explained the boost poorly, but essentially, anytime you are boosting, your heat increases, and anytime you are not boosting, your heat decreases.
Okay, Dry Guy's
You can-
good.
Alright. And then, yeah, you can boost at any time, but if you're letting your heat sit at 0, then you're basically not using your pod's cooling, and you are giving up time where you could have boosted later, because you're essentially wasting cooling time. You can't go below 0, obviously, so you can't charge up a longer boost for later.
Okay, Lightning's good. Uh, you just realized he's...
Wait, he's...
Lightning...
Wait. Okay, thank
both
goodness.
are... Yeah. If you didn't pick some boba here, you were gonna lose here. Automatically.
Yeah, Eevee is the best of the starting pods, but certainly not the best of the unlocked pods.
Captain has been given.
Normally, I'd say
No,
something about this being, one of the tracks with the longest straightaways in the game, where you can find basically anywhere you want to boost. But since it's no upgrades, we are going to be hoping to see the players conserving their boost, using it sparingly. Even though Skull's boost is the worst, or one of the worst in the game, it is still bonus speed, so I want to see them using it well here.
Yeah. He has the second worst booster after Ron Sandage.
And you can see, even with his impressive cruising speed, his boost barely brings him to a fully upgraded cruising speed.
Okay, Dry Guy took a slower line.
I'm actually surprised at how close they are after Dwy went right around that first turn.
And with it, no upgrades, even a slight balk can be fatal to the run.
This point in the track, both of them will probably still want to try and cap out their heat. There's a tunnel section after this where it's nearly impossible to actually use your boost, so they'll want to be entering that as high heat as possible. Obviously, less of the concern in no upgrades, but
So Boba also heats up at the same rate as Ron Sandage, but cools down at the same rate as Ben.
I guess never mind. Don't listen to me. Boba's cooling is worse than I thought it was. I was hoping.
Was that? Well, I'm not going to be sure until he goes off a boost how much that bump cost him. 5/8, not much.
Yeah, just about 1 or 2 speed units, but that does take away an advantage that he had for a bit of the track. Takes the left path this time.
Yeah, very even still.
For those who are confused maybe about what we're talking about, the base cruising speed of your pod actually increases very, very slightly as you go through the track. if you don't take any bonks or any crashes, or if you don't have to brake.
Okay, Dry Guy is in a better boost pattern for this section because he let the time to cool down, and Saboba is just going to. And there you go, Lightning tapped out.
Yeah, and both on similar heat now. Dwyer is actually pulled ahead, not using his boost at all over the fast spring on the conveyor belts. Very good by him. The red meter on the right is them charging up their boost. You have to hold nose down for a second, and when the light flashes, you can then boost.
Yeah. Dry Guy is taking a more reserved approach with the booster. Lightning's been. Look at that. Now, it'll be interesting to see because still holding. This is where it's going to show. Because there you see Lightning tapped out, and Dry Guy is now going to just thunder away. If you could call it thundering when Saboba's booster's so poor. Now it looks like you could see Dry Guy is now like maybe a second ahead.
Yeah, and this is just sheer knowledge and play skill here. Dry Guy is just sort of out-racing Lightning, much more prepared for no upgrades. This has caught a lot of players off guard in tourney so far. A lot of people not really used to how sparing you have to be with the boost on no upgrades.
Okay. Yeah, Dry Guy clearly knows the no upgrade boost pattern is better than Lightning.
And I should say for those who are new to this game, the longer you boost, the faster the boost goes. It gains speed over time, so Dry Guy taking these long boosts is getting much more out of his boost thrust here than LightningPirate is.
Yep, he knows the third lap strat. He's boosting at the bitter end. Oh, that was a massive bonk Dry Guy took. Will his boost management still be able to keep him up?
Yeah, Lightning's made up a lot of time here with some better lines.
Okay.
Oh, this is so close.
Oh, Dry Guy has it. His boost
just barely
paid off. 507 to that was off by 0.08 of a second.
Wow, good stuff to Dry Guy. Very nearly lost it to those just two minor little bonks there, but brought it home in the end.
Dry Guy said that was a relaxing cruise. And he said Saboba, and he went yes. So we're going into 8 races by default now. Okay. Okay, Lightning's banning Saboba. Is he going to do no upgrade retaliation? Punta Classic from Dry Guy, banned again. Punta Training. Punta Training, skip. Okay, Punta Training, skip.
That's the first pick of Winter Training Course skips we've seen in this tournament.
Yep, it was actually discovered midway through last year's tournament.
Or is it? Is it that recent?
It's that recent, yeah. It was like about maybe halfway through the group stage last year, and then Ace found this skip on Ubuntu training, and Metallica became the first one to use it. Like maybe no more than like a day or a week after it was founded in the tournament. And Lightning is very solid on skips, so
This is one that's kind of a pain to do. It's one of the skips where the skip is significantly harder than just racing the track normally. My guy picking Ben, that suggests to me that he doesn't know this skip.
no, I
Ben
don't
is
think he knows
not a
it
choice
either. The
here.
way he's
Yeah, for this skip, Mars Guo and Wan Sandage are the pods you want to be picking.
yeah. Yep, he's going with Juan Sandage, who is he's not the fastest, but he's certainly the safest for this skip. That's how I pulled it off. I actually pulled it off with him.
If we see Lightning do the safe version of the skip and just get it cleanly, even twice, he can afford a couple of mistakes here. Guy is. I would guess that Guy could put up a 137 or 138 full track here. The skip should be able to finish this track in under a minute, even with mistakes.
Yep, Lightning's going for the safe way.
Yeah, unsurprising to see in tournament. There is there's a faster but more dangerous way where you bounce off the rock pillar to the right of the track and then land on the top of that climb, but Lightning will just do this very safe. And unfortunately,
Sometimes the lap doesn't count, but if it counts, he's good.
yeah, and at this point, even if this lap doesn't count, he's got plenty of time to go through again. Yeah, very fast there for Lightning.
Match point for Lightning in a squeaker. This is not a squeaker run, but it is a squeaker point-wise.
And it looks like, unfortunately, even if Lightning had made a couple of mistakes, Dwy is had a couple of errors so far. Nothing massive, but this is a track that's pretty punishing in terms of you have to do every strategy well, hold every boost. And I noticed he underheated on the first lap for sure. A 140 is still an all-right time. But yeah, Lightning just more experienced runner, showing off his knowledge there.
Hey, Mars. Inferno Band again, but I don't think he has to worry about it because going to Aqualaris Classic. Ooh.
This has been a very impressive showing, though, from Guy so far, I must say. I mean, obviously that race was kind of a wash, but there's nothing you can really do on the... I would call that an auto-win skip, right? Where if you don't know it, you just lose the track. But in straight-up races, he's been taking Lightning Pirate, who's a very experienced, long-standing runner, to town. To say though, I'm a little worried about Aquarlair's Classic for Guy. This should be a track that Lightning Pirate will be familiar with. It's one of the first tracks a lot of people learn in this game. And it's going to be another one where a safe, sort of non-risky strategy is, I think, going to hamper Guy's time more than it helps him. The bands this time around were Mars Glow and Inferno. Fortunately, due to the stream delay, the spectator sheet takes a moment to update that.
Just waiting on Lightning to sit ready and drop the sheet. Oh, Lightning, drop the spectator sheet.
I assume when he said ready, he had seen your message and done it, so it'll come through in 20 seconds or so.
Yep, there it goes. I'm not so sure this was be a good idea. I'm not so sure if this was a really good idea, but I would have probably taken a much harder track than this.
Yeah, maybe Vengeance or gosh, Howler Gorge. Well, I suppose actually Guy looked a little uncomfortable on Betos, so maybe Howler Gorge wouldn't be a good idea. It is his pick. If he is confident here, this might be just a comfort pick, but we just have to see how it shakes out.
Whoa! Okay. Guy bonked but held the boost the other path, so it kind of meant and breaks even. Both of them are a little bit safer. They're not gunning the boost. Here, this is where you get a bonk. Oh, he held it! Whoa!
It's uncommon.
Ooh, that was... He almost crashed.
Bonk puts them just about even. I think Dwight's stream was maybe a fraction of a second ahead of Lightning Pirates. Really couldn't say whose race this is right now.
No.
Okay, Lightning. No, Dwight.
No, Dwight guy's in the lead.
Yeah, by a lot, actually.
Okay.
Thought it was going to be so close, I only looked at the tenths, but yeah, Dwight.
And there, Dwight held that boost again. That's really hard to do. Whoa!
He must be on high frame rate and or high traction to be holding these boosts. And normally you would see the pod gaining way too much air and actually taking a big enough bonk to cancel it. That makes this figure eights so scary.
Lightning took.
Oof. Yeah, that'll put him very behind here. Underheating again at the end of the lap. Yeah, a full 3 seconds slower. That was almost a crash.
Ooh, that was almost a crash from Dwy. Ooh,
All
it
right.
narrowly misses the guard door. Wow!
Whoa! Saves it.
No,
Oh,
no!
the death
Dies in the
polygon.
last lap.
Oh, please don't let it end like this. What a heartbreaking crash for Guy there. Nearly saves that jump, but goes over a kill polygon that I didn't.
Wait a
Lightning
second.
crashes! Oh, it's anyone's race now.
Oh my
Dwy
god.
pulls ahead?
Let's see what
I
this
can't
is.
tell.
18,
By a 10th! Not even!
No, no, Lightning wins by about a tenth of a second.
Not even, that's 200ths. Look at that, 984 versus 018?
Yeah, 200s.
That may be the closest race we've seen so far. What a heartbreaker for Twy.
Okay, Lightning
Alright.
soon.
Hello there, runners.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, that was a very fun match to watch and commentate.
It was. You know, I always try to give you guys a show.
You both did this time.
Man, I rarely ever crash on Aqualaris Classic, but I like took a corner too tight and it ricocheted me to the other side and I crashed in a weird spot. So odd.
Oh man. I was when I crashed on the final figure 8, I was like, why did I what is wrong with me? But to
Oh,
see it
man.
come to such a close finish, I was like, wow.
Yeah, oh, that's ridiculously close now that I look at it. I didn't. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, down to the wire. That whole way.
Yeah, I was really excited for this match because we had never played before, but I always had my eye on Dwight as like around my level, so I was like kind of worried.
Yeah, I'd say we're pretty even. I'd probably rate you slightly higher than me. Your qualifying times are significantly stronger.
Yeah, I think that just comes down to like preparation time, but yeah, I would say any other day it could have gone either way, but
Yeah, perhaps it could have. How was your dud bolt Malistaire?
well, it was deathless, so I guess that's the best.
Yeah, that's good enough to win. Yeah.
The best it can go. But yeah, it was tricky getting around that hairpin on the end there.
Yeah, I basically resorted to air braking really hard on there. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I guess you have to.
Or even like astro braking, like actually like braking with the wall in order to slow yourself down faster, because his brakes suck. Like
Yeah.
even fully upgraded, they just don't slow you down.
Yeah, it's really the turn rate that kills you.
Yeah, that's like you can't even get away with not hitting that outside wall as you're trying to make it.
Oh yeah, not unless you like stop essentially.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first time Deadbolt was ever used in tournament for the past few years.
Yeah, I'd believe that.
He's been waiting for his chance in the spotlight.
Yeah.
And he got it finally.
This was his debut.
Certainly
Yeah, we
made
bit
the
the dust
match more
quick.
interesting.
What else did we do? We went to, yeah. What was your strategy going into this? Because it seemed like you definitely had good picks that like were like throwing me off, but it seemed like you were targeting my weaknesses from like the digital Unity match. Like that's what it kind of seemed like.
Maybe. So I looked at some of your past times, and I'm like, oh, maybe I can beat him on this track. We're about even there, and I basically went from there. But yeah, you were good on to ban some of my favorite picks. So, but I got you on Abyss. I don't think I'll ever take you on there.
Well, I don't know why I become like my name is sort of become attached to Abyss, but I'm not even like that good. Like, I guess I'm just consistent is the key there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where you're
Abyss
not
Full
gonna,
especially.
yeah, where you're not gonna fall off. Like I play it very safe. So if you're like if you're gonna be riskier than me, then you definitely are able to take me there. But yeah.
And then no upgrades Saboba on Spice Mine Run was a nail biter too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I bet you watching those side by side was like we're just on top of each other the entire time.
You almost lost it, Dry Guy, because you took a massive bonk in the end, but because you knew the no upgrade boost patterns better, you still pulled ahead.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah, I knew his like his cooldown time was about like 50 seconds, so I wasn't exactly counting in my head, but it's more like yeah, I just like looked at the timer on top and I'm like, oh well, I can't boost another 50 seconds, so.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just sort of tap it just to see like where it's at.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing, where I didn't know how long he took to cool, and so I was sitting there like, okay, it's been like 20 seconds. Let's see where it's at. And he wasn't even.
It's like nothing, yeah.
I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Well, I found out Saboba heats up at the same rate as Wan Sandage and cools down at the same rate as Ben.
He's pretty abysmal. Yeah, that's safe to say. Well, no upgrades. His cruising speed's high enough to where he can sort of compete with the best of them, as long as there's no Ben or Bulls.
Yeah. Yeah, Bulls is first and Ben is second without upgrades.
I forgot to use the flame jet. I'm not even sure if I have the taunt button mapped, but that would have been fun.
Oh yeah. What are we doing? We're.
Yeah, next match, I'll get someone with it. Well, you're moving on to face Ace on the 20th, right?
Yep. Which you've already done.
I did, so I'm done with my
Feel
matches.
free to give me any pointers for
Sure.
what to do there.
Let's see what we can speculate here. I think you can maybe take him to, well, boon to training. I don't know. I'm sure you'll figure something out. Your strategy was pretty good this time around.
Just anywhere that you can close the gap between like the different levels of players on like I guess the shorter tracks are.
Yeah, the shorter tracks that are risky for most people, but you can consistently get.
Yeah.
And yeah, just gotta hope he crashes.
or leave the spectator sheet up. That could help too.
Oh, that's true. Every match you had that up, didn't you?
I had to ping Lightning every time to make sure he dropped the sheet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was helpful because that would have been a shame to to lose one to the spectator.
Yeah,
Oh, come
I
on.
actually-
Give me the free win.
And I was actually holding on giving out the countdown until I knew you dropped the sheet.
No, that's good. Thank you for doing that.
I definitely don't want any more heartbreakers like Ace dropping that track.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the one point I took off of Ace, was when he kept the spectator sheep up.
Yeah.
I'll take it. So that's your strategy. You gotta distract him enough to where he leaves his spectator sheep up.
Yep. Perfect.
Well, thanks
gotta
guys
play-
for commentating. I don't think I have too much more to say here. It was sort of a disappointment that I couldn't get like one extra point off Lightning there, but you know.
Yeah, race 9 would have been hype. I don't know what I would have done because it would have been my choice. So I would have definitely been feeling the pressure.
Yeah. Did you have a plan for a race 9?
Not really. I was like, I was just sort of like coming up with picks on the fly,
Yeah.
like the death rows and the beetles. I was just like, well, I guess I'm decent at those, so I just hope he's worse.
Yeah, both of your times on those were very impressive, I think. Probably personal best for you based on what I saw.
Oh, good.
Because I think I was also gonna take you to those two if you didn't pick them.
Oh.
Good thing I didn't. All right.
Yeah, I guess that's it for us.
Yeah. Good luck in your match with Ace.
Yeah, thanks.
That will be the final match for Group A. So this was the semi-final. What a great way to build hype for the final match of Group A on Sunday. And good luck, everyone. And force be with you.
And also with you.
And thanks as always to SpeedGaming for hosting this for us. Have a good night, everyone.